Speak for Yourself, presented to you by Hyundai. All right, happy hump day, happy Wednesday. All right, we have a fantastic show planned for you today. Tim Brown, the Raiders great, the Hall of Fame wide receiver. We're going to pull up at his crib, talk some Raiders football, the Las Vegas Raiders. But we'll start by going out to Bucky Brooks' crib. Bucky's going to join us. Of course, Bucky, a noted art professor of football. We're going to start with Aaron Rodgers and new news on the Packers quarterback. Brett Favre today, in an interview on Rich Eisen's show, had some very fascinating things to say about Aaron Rodgers, including saying that the Packers drafting of Jordan Love and not drafting of a wide receiver, that the Packers have burned a bridge with Aaron Rodgers, and Brett predicted that eventually Aaron Rodgers would leave the Green Bay Packers. I don't know who could be a better expert on this than Brett Favre. He was once the legendary quarterback. They drafted a young guy behind him. He eventually left the Green Bay Packers. Favre said he actually has talked to Aaron Rodgers. Wouldn't characterize completely Aaron Rodgers' feelings, but said that Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy with the decision and was a little bit surprised when they drafted Jordan Love. He was not expecting that. All right, Marcellus, do you agree with Brett Favre that Aaron Rodgers will eventually leave the Packers over this Jordan Love decision and the 2020 NFL Draft?
Absolutely, I agree with Brett Favre. Even though this does have a tinge of Will Smith as Chris Gardner in The Pursuit of Happiness, when you only see life through your experiences. And look, Brett Favre been through this, so he only sees how it's going to end in Green Bay like it ended for him. But if you look at the numbers, this is going to be a 2-year plan where they're stuck with Aaron Rodgers. If you look in terms of motivation for Aaron Rodgers, when should he depart? He knows that that day is coming. I'm not sure he's rooting for that day, but it doesn't matter what your rooting interests are. It's inevitable. Once the numbers are satisfactory in terms of what the Green Bay Packers have to eat in dead money, which is going to be 2+ years, Jordan Love, if he looks like anything that they want and desire on that football field, then the transition will be complete. But he won't finish his career absolutely as a Green Bay Packer.
Oh, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, Marcellus. We've been in the room before. We've been in a position room when they tried in the #1 pick. They tried in the first rounder. It's time for us to understand that Aaron Rodgers is going to move on from the Green Bay Packers at the end of 2021 or 2022. This is what great organizations do. They're always thinking ahead. And the Green Bay Packers have had about 30 years of quarterback stability because they were forward-thinking. They were able to think ahead when Brett Favre was there and they took Aaron Rodgers. And now it's the same situation with Aaron Rodgers. Make no mistake about it. Aaron Rodgers is a declining player. He's 36 years old. 2017 and 2018, he suffered injuries. In 2019, he had the lowest passer rating that he's had since 2015. At some point, the Green Bay Packers have to make sure they have a quarterback in place. And it is smart to get one now because for a season or two, he can learn, he can master the system. So when he has his opportunity, he's ready. Look no further than the situation in Kansas City with what the Chiefs were able to do with Alex Smith and Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes was there. He was able to get ready. Pat Mahomes turned around and had a Super Bowl. He had an MVP season, then a Super Bowl season. I think the Green Bay Packers are getting the next guy ready because they understand that their quarterback, their veteran quarterback, is beginning to regress. You want to make sure you have someone ready to take over.
Listen, the only thing I disagree with y'all about is timetable. And I'm not predicting Aaron Rodgers gets traded immediately, but I believe Aaron Rodgers is on the trading block. If somebody blew the Packers' doors away right now with a trade offer, I think they would make that move. I think that Aaron Rodgers, this is his final season in Green Bay. I don't think he'll get traded this year. But after this season coming up, Aaron Rodgers moves on because Aaron Rodgers is going to want to move on. It's just like what Favre said. They've burned a bridge. Aaron Rodgers does not agree with Bucky Brooks. He does not believe he's in decline. I don't think Brett Favre believes Aaron Rodgers is in decline. I think Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and a lot of other objective parties believe the Packers haven't properly supported Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to demand, let me get out of here while I still have a chance to go someplace else and win and prove that these guys held me back. Aaron Rodgers at 36, 37, I think still has a lot of value in the National Football League. If the Colts hadn't made a deal for Phillip Rivers, my God, to me, they would be trying to go all in on how can we get Aaron Rodgers to Indianapolis with a team we think is ready to win now. He could be our quarterback for the next 4 years. Aaron Rodgers still has a tremendous amount of value, and while he has it, I think he's going to force his way out of Green Bay in the next 12 months.
I can't see that happening. You got to understand, one, that Jordan Love was a project, and that project needs grooming, and that grooming can't be in any better place than under Aaron Rodgers in that situation if you're going to hand over the baton. Two, there's still a jury out if Jordan Love is even going to live up to the hype that he has. He had a bad last year at Utah State. We understand he lost his top 3 receivers, his coach, his OC. All those things considered, it still was a reach to some that Jordan Love will be that guy. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you don't have to look over your shoulder necessarily because Jordan Love is not that close to you. There is rooting motivation to get him close to you because they like his personality better than yours, Aaron Rodgers. But the production is yet to be seen. So I can't see Aaron Rodgers being in a place emotionally so disturbed that he wants to leave a situation that he helped create. I don't think he's going to force his way out.
No, see, I think this is part of a bigger plan. It's a bigger plan for the Green Bay Packers to build the kind of team that they feel is necessary to be able to compete in this new NFC, actually in this new NFL. I think when they took those 2 whoopings against the San Francisco 49ers, Matt LaFleur had to look at his mentor pummeling him with the running game and the Shanahan system, which is the outside zone run and the stretch bootleg and play action combination. Here's what no one will talk about when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is difficult to game plan for because the majority of his plays come off the script. So when you're a play caller, it is hard to call plays when your quarterback likes to improvise. We saw it last year with Matt LaFleur. We saw it in previous years with Mike McCarthy. What we're now seeing, coaches have a tough time coaching number 12. And so if you can't coach him, you replace him. And so Matt LaFleur is bringing in Jordan Love and A.J. Dillon and some of these other guys so they can run the system that they want to run. He has success when he saw it in Atlanta with Kyle Shanahan having success. He saw Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have success with the Rams and the 49ers, respectively, running the system. He wants to run his system. And if Aaron Rodgers won't comply, he will get out the way, and Jordan Love will run it the way that he sees fit.
I'm going to tell you the other thing I think is missing here is, look, Matt LaFleur and the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, Brian Gutekunst, they believe Jordan Love is a great quarterback because they went up in the draft to go get him when they really didn't have to. Yes, he had a bad last year at Utah State. I'm not comparing him to this guy, but there is another quarterback who had a bad senior year and was dogged by rumors. He was a party boy, and he fell to the bottom of the first round of the draft. His name was Dan Marino. He had a lot of hype after his junior year, fell to the bottom of the draft. The Miami Dolphins got him. Don Shula believed in him. I'm not calling Jordan Love the next Dan Marino, but clearly to me, Matt LaFleur and these guys believe in him and think he can play and perform at a high level. Everybody that got drafted, there's a mystery about them. Who knows if they're going to live up to the hype? But we know the Green Bay really believes in this guy, and they're going to bend over backwards and do everything in their power to make him successful. Let's move to this final question as it relates to Aaron Rodgers. If he does not win another Super Bowl before the end of his career, who would you blame? The Packers organization or Aaron Rodgers for that failure? You can argue either side. Had the Packers given him enough support, or has Aaron Rodgers been too difficult to fit into a team environment and do what Tom Brady did in Green Bay? Marcellus, who would you blame, the organization or Aaron Rodgers?
Well, you said I could blame either side. How about I blame no side? I mean, damn, he got a championship, and if we look around, Aaron Rodgers has only been a starter for 12 years. Yeah, he's been in the league 15 years, but only a starter for 12 years, and half of those, Tom Brady stole the championship. So you're down to 6. Then you get Peyton Manning, get a couple. You're down to 4. You get Drew Brees out there. You're down to 3. The point is, let's blame probability. Let's blame the math. But this whole notion that he didn't have enough weapons around him, when I'm watching him throw the ball to Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, I'm like, sounds like some weapons to me. Maybe not drafted all in the first round, but they turn out to be some ballers. And then people like you, Jason, always remind me that receivers don't help you win championships. We talk about players today, whether it's Odell Beckham or it's the Antonio Brown or if it's the Hopkins out there, even Larry Fitzgerald, or we could go to some of the greats and T.O. and Randy Moss, et cetera. So the point is, I think that Aaron Rodgers has done a tremendous job based on where he is. He's in a place called Green Bay. And a lot of people want to throw around Titletown. This ain't the 60s. No free agents want to raise their hand high in the sky to go to Green Bay, so they suffer. They've won 2 championships with 2 all-time great quarterbacks in Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And that's it. And I think that's actually what you should expect, or even exceeding expectations. Brett Favre threw 127 career touchdowns to first-round receivers. Aaron Rodgers threw 1. And they have the same amount of championships. So I don't think this is really a blame in terms of asset conversation. I think this is an appreciation conversation.
No. Having spent 3 years in Green Bay playing there, I'm not letting number 12 off the hook. If you're going to be in the conversation with the greatest at the position, you have to win titles. When I look at Tom Brady throwing to anybody and everybody, but still getting his team to the winner's circle, I absolutely will not absolve Aaron Rodgers from blame. When you're the quarterback, and we talk about paying these guys big money, $30, $35 million, the expectation is that you're going to win. And the more that we pay the quarterback, the more that we expect him to